Hey everyone. Okay, so earlier I posted that I was going to the chemotherapy orientation. So my mom and I went this afternoon. They got it in basically last minute, right? Um, so I have some packets here that they went over. So this, you know what it is basically? It's basically going over all the side effects of the chemo. You ever see those commercials for whatever drug they're trying to sell you or try to get you to go tell your doctor you have, whatever. And they list all those side effects? That's pretty much what this is. It goes over those side effects and it goes over what I need to do with whatever side effect I might be having at the time. So these are the ones I'll be on. This first one, I believe, is an immunotherapy to help with basically infection, I believe, is my understanding. And then these two are the chemotherapy drugs. And so it's 4 cycles, and a cycle is 21 days. And so the first day of the cycle, I will have all 3 of these. And then it'll be just this one every week for 3 weeks. And then I will get another shot to help with white blood cells. And then the cycle will start over again with the 3 and then the 1. So again, the cycle is 21 days for 3 weeks, 4 times. So 4 cycles. So basically the next 12 weeks, it'll be definitely this one once a week. And then these other 2 every 3 weeks. Once every 3 weeks. But yeah, so there's quite the catch of side effects. She printed off a packet of side effects. So one of the, we all know that one of the side effects is losing your hair. There is this technology that is out that is called cool scalping, or also known as cold capping. So it's a cap that they can put on the head, and what I read, it's considered 2 layers. So the one goes here, and then between the 2 layers is cold liquid moving around your head, and it is plugged into a machine there on the site where I get. So it would be, I would have if I do it, it would be I would start that. My understanding, about 30 minutes before chemotherapy, and while I do chemotherapy, and then I keep it on for about 30 minutes after chemotherapy. So Dr. V did give me like a referral for it, and I briefly talked to the gal yesterday. When she called, I was waiting in line for medication. But so she had sent me information about it, and I had read it. And I asked the pharmacist about it today, or the pharmacist that does administer the chemotherapy, and I asked her if she had any patients that did do the cold capping, and was it effective. And she could only remember like 2 had actually done it, and it did help with them not losing as much hair. There was still some hair loss, but not a significant amount, and they did lose their eyebrows and eyelashes. So I guess with the cold capping, what it does is it slows down the blood flow, basically, that goes to those follicles. And so then those chemo drugs aren't going towards that. But she also did state that, some insurances, it is really costly, and not all insurances will cover it. She did tell me that she had one patient that came in, and he bought like a cold cap one that was off of Amazon. Obviously, it's not going to be one that was plugged in, but he would put it in the freezer and put it in this like ice chest. His dad would come in with him, and they'd have an ice chest with the cold caps in there, several of them, because those aren't hooked up to a machine, they're just in an ice chest. So that could be a possibility as well. So that looks kind of interesting. I don't I don't know how I feel about the hair loss thing. I had told my mom and my friend Rachel, who's been going to a lot of these appointments as well with me or with us. I was like, I don't think I can handle the hair loss in clumps. I said I'd probably would just just go and shave my head if it came down to it. I think that having that would probably, doing the clump thing when it slowly falls out might be my breaking point in all of this. It seems kind of silly in some sense. It seems silly on the outside when you're not really. I mean, I am going through this or about to be going through this and thinking about it. It's like, huh. But that will. I think I might try out that cold capping. I will probably reach out and see what and if my insurance will cover it, or what the possibilities are there. Again, I'm not. It's kind of funny because half the time I get irritated with my hair anyway, but I can't do the clumping. I can't run it through my hair and it come out. That's probably that's something I probably can't do. So, kind of jumping back and forth. So, these are the drugs or whatever, the chemo stuff that I'll be taking for 12 weeks. And then I switched over to other drugs after that. The immunotherapy one is still the same. The pembrolizumab, I don't know how to say that. And then doxycycline. I know this is kind of facing weird. I'll probably take a picture and post it later so I can actually see the words correctly. These treatments will be after those first ones. And again, this packet's full of side effects. More side effects. One of these, the one that starts with a D, I guess it's like is red dye or something, and I asked her if that's what people consider the red devil. Apparently that would be the one. If I was to use the bathroom afterwards, it would leave red in the toilet. So that's kind of interesting. But then this treatment would be once every 3 weeks. So I'm not sure for how long. I'm gonna assume maybe the same 12 weeks. So every 3 weeks I get one of these for 12 weeks. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure, but this is kind of like a second step to the treatment plan. And then she gave a calendar. So this is what for the next 21 days, what the plan is. Or what my treatments will. Well, not these next 21 days. Starting June 11th will be the 21 days. Well, starting 21 days. So, that's a lot of fun. I have my mom. She's been going to all these things. I'm pretty sure that this is hitting her pretty hard. My dad too. Since my dad lost his baby sister to this so wonderful, horrible disease. But that was 30 years ago. So we know that times have changed. Things have come a long way. Yeah. This sucks. This really, really sucks. I'll be honest, I probably really haven't cried a whole lot about any of this. I think I did once with Josh kind of towards the beginning, when we talked, and then yesterday, and the day before that as well, because a dear friend of mine who's kind of dropped off of the face of the world, or the face of the earth, for a while, because she was dealing with some of her own things. She reached out, and not knowing what was going on, and when I told her what was going on, she pretty much dropped whatever she was doing, and she came over, and that was, I guess I needed that. I needed her, and she doesn't live in this state. She's just visiting. It's a short visit. She came here to see her sister's baby. So I seen her. She came over, and then yesterday we were talking on the phone. So it's kind of emotional, but just being able to have her, letting her know what's going on, and for her to just basically drop everything and come here, come over at that point, was just really meant a lot to me. So, yeah, so I guess maybe when I get the fact that it's getting closer, it's like maybe become more real, more of a reality. So we'll do that. Did want to share something. This little cute little thing that Josh's niece made for me. I'm not really sure what her parents told her what was going on. Whether they told her that, Aunt Tiff was going through something, is going to be sick, is going to have to do this, but it's her way of giving me a hug while I go through treatment. It's a really cute thing that she had given me. We seen her on Monday. We were able to hang out with them on Monday, and she was just so proud of this little heart, and I really appreciate her little gift. So, but yeah. Yeah, I'll definitely say that this kind of held it together, and maybe some of it's, I don't know, leaking out now. I don't know. Another sucky thing is that I actually haven't been able to work. My right breast has been having a lot of pain. It's not just in the breast, but the armpit and the arm and the shoulder. The way I understand is the lymph nodes is basically like your pipe system. That's what filters whatever, I don't know, and moves liquids throughout your body. That was the way I understand it. So, with the fact that I have masses in those lymph nodes, I believe that things are now getting to the point where there's like a clog, basically. And so now my right breast is now filling with those fluids because of the backup, and that's what's causing pain. It's just, I'm okay when I'm not up moving around. It's more bearable if I'm just more or less just sitting. Even when I'm like going to these appointments and stuff, I'm like doubling up on bras and kind of a little bit tighter garments right there, just that way it's not moving around too much, so it's more stable. I've already had, my chest was already large, and it's like that breast is now like the double the size it was when starting this, so that's kind of an interesting thing, and kind of sucky at the same time. Plus, since I wear a uniform, and the shirt that's that I wear, I actually can't close it. It's a button-up shirt, so because of what's going on, all that swelling, I cannot wear the uniform shirt, which sucks. But they know what's going on, so they've been understanding. But it still sucks. This isn't what I planned. This isn't what I was hoping for. So I was hoping that I'd at least get to work up until then, and up until I went to chemo, but that's definitely not happening with what's going on. They did give me some antibiotics, because they're worried about that fluid becoming infected, or causing an infection or something. I don't fully understand all of that sometimes. I'm just like, okay, that's great. Let's just add to this misery. But yeah, I do have that medication as well. I don't know, we can kind of see the port when it was all red. Looks better than it did last week. How to get all that stuff. It's kind of funny because when I was telling the pharmacist today that does the chemotherapy stuff there at the cancer center about what happened, she had made a comment about latex being in whatever they use, and I was a little kind of baffled about that, as it's well known and documented on all of my stuff with multi-care that I have a latex allergy. So I'm like, did they use a latex product thinking that it wasn't gonna affect me, or did they just not realize that allergy to the extent, or because it's not, I don't know, like an allergy where I'm gonna die from, but it obviously causes a lot of irritation, and I had really thought that anyway with the way it was looking. I was like, that's what happens when I put like latex gloves on. That's kind of how I found out that I was allergic to latex. This was, God, some 20 some years ago, and I was talking to my doctor about it, and Dr. Whitemarsh, he is no longer with us, but But he was an interesting character, a very interesting personality, and I was talking to him about it, and he just looked at me and was like, "You dummy, you're allergic to the latex." And I was like, "Oh," I was like, "That makes a lot more sense in some other areas as well." But I don't know, I guess maybe when I was thinking like an allergic reaction, I, being young at the time, didn't really catch that on. But here we are 20 something years later, 25 years later, and yeah, that reaction I still get. I can't wear the gloves at work. I have special gloves for work because the other ones are made of latex. So, but all right, enough of that side story. Side story. But just wanted to get on here and talk a little bit about those treatment, the chemotherapy, what's gonna happen, a little joy in some of this, or a little thoughtfulness from a 7-year-old. And I guess some real feelings about this being a little bit more open or starting to hit me. I don't know. But as of, so it is May 28th. Today is Friday. So next Friday, I will be having a biopsy done on the left breast with markers through MRI, because the MRI that I did 2 weeks ago, showed a mass in that left breast, and they want to get that checked before I start treatment. So that needs to get done, and sadly they only do it on Mondays and Fridays, and with that order being done last week and this past Monday being Memorial Day, and they weren't open, so thankful for, I guess that's semi-quick for considering they're only open on Fridays and Mondays, or not open, but I guess that's when they do those MRI biopsies. MRI guided biopsies. I've never had one of those, so that will be interesting. So I think that's kind of it for now. I love you all. I appreciate everything. I appreciate the thoughtfulness, the positivity, the prayers, just the small little notes. The encouragement. I appreciate it all. Definitely can't do it by myself. So, I will talk to you all later. Love you. Bye.